about it, pull back,
所
let the
以
state buy it. Immediately,
这个
the
州
price goes way down, and they
也
end up buying it.
是
But we're also
在
competing against
购
many countries
购买这
because
些呼
many
吸机。
countries need the ventilators. That's why I want to build more, if
其
possible.
实有
John, maybe
很
we'll take
多
one more
国家
question.
都需要呼吸机，
The question I
所以
was
我
going
们
to is, are you able
正在大量
to
生产。
guarantee
下一个
for
问题，
sure these states, these hospitals, that everybody who
他说
needs
你
a
能够
ventilator
保
will
证
get a ventilator?
So here's what I'll
这
tell you.
些
I think we're in really good shape.
州和医
This
院
is a pandemic the
如
likes
果
of
需
which
要呼
nobody's
吸
seen
机，
before.
他们就能
I
得
think
到。
we're in great shape.
总统
I
说，我
think that
觉得
number one,
可以。
we've distributed
他说
ventilators is a big deal.
没有
We've
人预见这
distributed
个大疫
vast
情，但
numbers of
是
ventilators, and we're prepared
我
to
们
do
分发了
vast
很
numbers.
多，
I think we're in great shape.
我
I
们
hope that's the
并
case.
且
I
准
hope
备
that
生
we're
产
going
很
to have
多。
leftovers so we
我
can
觉
help
得
other
我
people,
们
other
现
countries.
在
Who needs one will be able to get a ventilator.
Look,
能
don't
够
be a cutie
有
pie,
足够
okay?
的呼吸
You
机
know,。everyone who needs one. Nobody's ever done what we've done. Nobody's done anything like we've been able to do. And everything I took
总
over
统
was a
说，
mess. It was a broken
我们所
country
做
in so
的
many ways. In so
前
many
无古
ways
人。
other than this. We had a
他
bad
说我继
testing
承了一
system. We
个
had a bad
机制，
stockpile system. We had nothing in the
并不完
stockpile
全
system.
运
So
转
I
正
wouldn't
常
tell
的
me
这个
what
继
you
承
tell,
这么
what,
个
you know,
机
like
制。
being a wise guy. Go ahead.
Mr. President, you signed a bill today the size of which could
好，
choke
下一
an
个问
entire
题。
herd of horses.
问题
And
是
before you even had a chance to put pen to paper,
签了
people were already talking about the need for
这个
phase
法
four.
令。
Yeah.
Do you see a need
Well,
for
it'll-
phase
yeah.
four, and where do you think the
Well,
priorities would
it-
那
lie?
已
maybe
经有
something
人
we're
说，
gonna have to
在
help
第
states.
四期的
Because
这
the states have
个
been hurt very badly.
刺
And
激
the
法案，
beautiful
就是
thing
将
about
来
our country is
总统
6.2 trillion
说，
because it is
也许我们
2.2
要
plus
帮助
4.
州，因为每个州都
$6.2 trillion
经济受到打击，
And we can handle that easily because of who
有
we are,
这个
what we are. It's
我
our,
们可
it's
以
our money.
解
It's
决这些
our,
问题，
we
因
are
为
the ones. It's our currency.
我们这是
We
我
can
们的
handle
钱
it,，and we can handle
这是
how
我们
much
国家
that
的钱，这
Jerome
是
Powell the other day, and he did a good job. He said, "We'll do whatever we
我
have
看
to
这
do."
个
John, we have to do whatever we have to do.
Jerome Powell，他说我们要
The
做
priority
我
is
们
life
必须
and
做的事
safety,
情，
and then
就
the
是这
economy.
个
Life and safety.
美联储的
It seems like
Well,
earlier in the week you
we'll
said we
see.
love
No,
you,
no.
but now it seems like it
We'll
could be
see. A
longer.
lot of things
We're
can.
heading into a long weekend.
Yeah.
What do you tell those folks who think they're going to have to wait this out for a while?
I tell them if it's your life, then it's your safety. And
我
if we
告
need
诉
more
他
time,
们
they're not going to have a
这
problem waiting it
是
out.
有关你的
It's
生
life,
命、你的
it's
安
safety,
全。
and
如
it's
果
our
你
country.
人们需要
We
更
have
长
to
时
take care of
间
people.
在家
At the
隔
same time,
离
we
的
want to get
话
them，out. They want
是
to
对
get
他们
out. Our
好，
country
所以
was
我
built
们
on
作为
that.
国家，我们
But
必
we have to make
须
sure it's safe, and everyone
保
knows
护
that.
他们。
Okay,
如
one
果
more
他们
question,
需要出来，
please.
他们安全可以出来的时候，他们会出来。好，最后一
Both
个
the
问
World
题，
Health Organization, as recently as today, and your own health officials have said
这
that
是
any treatments that
WHO
we use for coronavirus should be scientifically
他说
demonstrated to be effective.
任何
But at the same
治
time, you
疗
said that chloroquine, as an example,
必须证
could be
明有
used to
效
cure，very
但
soon.
是
So, is the WHO and your
同时
health
又
officials
说
wrong on this point? Are they?
So
要有一个
hydroxychloroquine,
很
which
快
is
出来
supposed
一
to
个
be
治
the
疗方
better of
案
the，two,
比如是个氯
seems to
喹
have。some good backing. We're going to see.
总
Look,
统在说氯
Governor
喹
Cuomo,
有一
we've given
些
him 10,000 units.
证明
It's a
有
lot.
效哈，
And they're
我
testing
们
it.
给
It's a
他
malaria
了
drug. It's also a drug for arthritis.
10000
But and it's
个
phenomenal for those two things, as you
氯
probably
喹，我们
know,
给了
especially
纽
for
约州，
malaria. But we're going to find out soon. I hope
这
it
是
works.
给
It's,
治
there
疟
are
疾
signs that
的，
it could be doing
我们
well.
会
They are testing
很快就会
10,000
知
units. It's
道
a
结
lot.
果。
And I tell you what, I want to thank the
他
FDA
们
because they
在
approved it
测
immediately based on the
试
fact that it was already
10000
out for a different
个
purpose. They approved it immediately. So look, hydroxychloroquine is a
所以
very powerful drug for certain things, and it's a very
这是一
successful
个
drug.
很
There's reason to
强
believe
的
that it could
药。
be successful here. Now, the reason I disagree
就
with
这个氯
you, and I
喹
think Tony would
有
disagree
人
with
觉
me,
得
but
是
the
有
reason
效
I
的。
disagree
我
with you
对
is that we
你
have a pandemic.
陈述
We
的
have people
不
dying now.
不同意的
If
时
we're
候
going to go into
他说我们
labs
现在
and
有个
test
大疫
all of
情，
this
我
for a
有
long
们有很多
time,
人
we
在
can test it
濒
on
临死
people
亡，
right now.
我们不
who are
会
in
花
serious
很
trouble, who are
长
dying.
时间
If
来
it
测试
works,
这
we've
些
done a
药
great thing. If it
药
doesn't
物
work,。
那如果已
you
经
know,
有人
we tried.
濒临死亡了，那我们
But
就可
this
以
is
马
not
上用这
something
种
that's going
测
to
试
kill
的药
people.
物， 用在
So
这个病
we
理
can
死
go
的这
in and
个
we can test
高
and we
危
can
的
take our
病人身
time.
上。
When I was with the FDA,
所以
you know,
我
they
们可以
indicated that, well, we'll start working on it right away, and it could take
我
a
们跟
year.
那
I said,
个
what
食
do you
品
mean
药
a
物
year?
及 谈
We
的
have to
时
have it
候
tonight.，
他说我
If
们
we don't have it tonight, I want to test it immediately
正常
because
手
it's on
续
the
程
market
序
in a
要
different
1 年
form.，
他说
So we know
我
that. So from a
跟他们
safety
说我们
standpoint,
必
at least
须
we know
要
that.
马
But you're
上
talking about giving
测
it
试
to
这
people
些新药，
who
我
in
们
many
当然
cases
要
are dying.
保证安全。
So we want to do
其
it
实
the way.
很
This is
多
sort of
人
like
正
right to try. We
在
got right to try approved.
死亡线
For
上
40,
挣
John,
扎，
for 44 years
所以
or
我
more,
们
they couldn't get it approved. We have the best labs, the best doctors. They
就是
couldn't get it. I got it approved.
有一
Now, if
些
somebody's
药有
terminally ill and we
44
think we
年
have
都没有
something
被
that's
批
going to
准，
work, we
但是
can
有人
actually
突
use
然
it. They can
濒
use
临
it.
死亡，我
And
们
I'll tell you
有
what,
这
you
种
ought to do
药
when
有
this
一
is
线
over,
希
you got
望，
to do
我
a
们
story
就
on
会
that
使
because
用
we have
它
had。some tremendous results.
Before you go, could I ask you something that just popped on Wall Street
其实
Journal? It says headline: The Trump
还有
administration
个
plans
问
to
题，
suspend the collection of
就有
import tariffs for 3
华尔
months,
街日
according to
报
administration
说，
officials. True or not true?
It's not even talk to me about it. Just more fake news, John. Look, not even talk
他
to
说
me. They're
没
talking
有，
about
这是一个假新闻，
the only one I've heard that from,
没有
like
人
as
跟
an
我说
example.
过提过这件
China
事
pays
情。
25% interest on $250 billion worth of
说
product that they send in. That's a lot. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, are you going to
像
suspend the tariffs?" Well, the
美
answer's no.
中国
President
付
Xi
了
never even brought it up last night. It wasn't
付
even
20%
discussed.
的
It's fake
关税
news. Tell the，
但
Wall Street
有人
Journal.
就制
You
造
know, the
假
Wall Street
新闻，
Journal does a
说
lot of
要
fake news
那
too.
个
It's
暂
pretty
停中
amazing.
国的这
So
些
I want to
关
leave
税，
leave
就
you
增
by
加的
just
关
saying I want
税
to thank。
他说这是
you
假
for
新
being
闻。
here. I want to thank the American public and all of the people
好，我
that
走之
have
前
helped so
我要
much. And
感
we're
谢
going
大
to
家
give the，
感谢
podium
美
to
国大众，
Vice President Pence, who
我
has
们
been
把这
incredible.
个讲台
And if
交
he's
给
tired
副
and
总
if he's
统
not
彭
answering
斯，
questions like
他
he should,
是非
we
常
have
棒
a
的，
great
他非
reason
常
because he hasn't slept in about 4 weeks.
累。如
But I want
果
to thank him
他
because he
不
has
能
dedicated.
回答
I
你
mean,
的
he
问
is a
题，那就是
dedicated
因为
person.
他
Long
这几
before
周
this,
都
but
没有睡
the
好。
job he's done has been
他是非
fantastic. So I want
常
to thank Mike, all the people on the task force, and FEMA,
忠于
and
职守的
Army
人，
Corps, everybody.
他
You've
们
been
这
fantastic.
个
Thank you all very
行
much.
动抗疫行动小组都做得非常棒，还有这个紧急事务署，还有陆军工程兵等，他们做了非常棒的工作。
Well, good evening, everyone, and
好，
thank
现
you,
在
Mr.
副总
President.
统
The
在
White House Coronavirus
回答
Task
问
Force
题。
met
好
today. We，
晚
continue
上好。
at the President's
今天
direction
这个抗疫
focus on
特别
slowing
小
the
组
spread of the coronavirus through
根据
mitigation, expanded testing,
总统的
and
命
ensuring
令
that our
要
healthcare workers have the supplies
减
they
缓疫
need.
情
With
扩
cases
展，
now in all
来
50
保证
states and
医护
more
人
than
员
50%
有他
of
们需要
cases
的防护
in
和
the New York area.
和物
It's
资。
more important than ever to
在纽约
adhere
地
to the
区
guidance of state and local
有
authorities. And
是
for every
重灾
American,
区，所以
the best thing
那
that
些
you
地方的
can do
人就
beyond
是
a role
必
is
须
put into practice the
要
president's
遵行，并且
coronavirus
美国人无有
guidelines
老
for America.
老幼都要
It is the way that
认
each
真
of us
的
can do our part.
执行这个
Since we
规
last
则
spoke, as you all know, the
这
president
是我们
signed the
每个人应该
Coronavirus
做
Aid
的。
Relief and Economic Security Act. This
总
makes
统已经
direct
签署
payments
了
available to American families. The
经
average
济
family of 4
刺
will
激
receive
法
a direct
这
payment
是
of
马
some
上把钱送到
$3,400.
美国人手
It also
中。
covers payroll for small
所以
businesses across the country for a
4口之
period
家
of
可以大概
several
得到
months, so that even
3400
if
美
the
元，
business is closed, they can continue
才
to
几
have
个
a loan
月
which will be
都
completely
可以
forgiven
拿到工
if they
资。
keep their whole team on
哪
the
怕
payroll.
那
There's
些
support for critical industries, for hospitals, and for states as
工
well.
厂或者
As of this
他们
evening,
的工
the
作单
President
位已
has
经
issued 12 major
停
disaster
工，
declarations, most recently for the states of Maryland and Missouri.
并且
And on the
今
subject
晚
of
已经有
vaccines,
12个地
Emory
方
University
宣布了
in
进入
Atlanta
紧急
today
状况，
began enrolling volunteers in a phase 1 clinical trial of another
并且
possible
在
vaccine
亚特兰大
for the
已经有
coronavirus.
人开始
On the
了
subject of
又一个疫苗的第
Testing
一阶
is
段
available
测
in all
试。
50 states, and as a
这
great
些
credit to our partnership
病毒
with
检测
commercial
已经在
laboratories
所有
across
的
the country.
州都可以
This
进
morning it was
行，
reported that more than
全国所有
685,000
的
tests
实
have
验
already
室
been performed, and we are particularly grateful to
都
the
在
American
参与这
Hospital
个
Association,
测试。
whose members are now
我非
reporting
常感
into the
激
CDC and FEMA in real
美
time,
国的医院
giving
和
our
他们
experts
这
more
个
visibility
医院协会，
on those that have contracted the disease
他们这些
around
采
the
集的
country.
数
The President
据
mentioned this, but it's worth mentioning
给我
again.
们
Apple has a new app map
很
out.
好的资
It
料
is。a screening tool that'll help
现在我们也
Americans
知道
determine whether they should be tested. It has a easy format, question and answer. If you have issues about whether or not a test is appropriate for you, you can use the new Apple app to accomplish that as well. On the subject of supplies, the President spoke about the priority that we're placing on personal protective equipment, and
是
especially
苹果有一
ventilators,
个
and I
新
will
的
not
app 可以帮
add
你
to that. I can tell you that this weekend we'll be
预测
reporting
你是
on
不是需要
aggressive efforts that
受到这个检测
our
哈。
supplies stabilization task force
他
at
说我
FEMA
们
is
有
taking to import medical
非常
supplies from around the world. We're working as we
采取
speak on
强有力的
airlift
措
from a
施
number of countries
措施
around the
来
globe to deliver very important medical protective equipment to the United States. At the present moment, you've heard the numbers,
来
but
从
from
全
the
世界各
strategic
地向
national
美国
stockpile, we distributed
输
more than
送
7
重要
million
的
N95
防护设
respirators
备，
or masks, more than almost 3 million face
包括这
shields,
些
more
N95 的
than
口
8,000
罩，
ventilators,
有
and
300万的
donations
面罩，
to
还有
the strategic
呼吸机，
national
还有
supply. We've mentioned
捐
Apple
款。
donating some 9 million masks that can be used by healthcare workers, but Merck recently
刚
announced
才我们
plans to
说
donate
苹果已
500,000
经
masks, USPS
捐助了
500,000
900万
masks, and a little company called Puritan in Maine is
面罩
actually in the business now of
口罩。
manufacturing swabs. So businesses large and small all across America are rising
很多
to the challenge. As the President noted, he will
大小的
attend
公
the
司都
embarkation
已
of
经
the
行动起来，
U.S. Navy
来
ship
使
Comfort tomorrow from Norfolk.
生产这些
The
自我检
U.S.
测的
Navy
这
ship
个
Mercy
试
arrived
剂。
in Los Angeles today.
美
We
国
will
的
continue to focus
海军
resources
医
and
疗船
supplies
只
on those areas around the country that have seen significant
要
outbreak.
开往纽约，
But let me send a
和加
word
州。
to hospital workers around the country. We continue
让我
to
们告
hear
诉那些
anecdotally and
医
occasionally
医
see
疗
in media
工作
reports people
者
who have concerns that their hospital may be running short on personal protective equipment in the days ahead.
大家有一
Just
些
encourage you to
忧虑，当
Alert
地
your
的医
hospital
院可能
administrator.
不够
Hospital administrators,
床位。
please alert your state health
如果有
director.
这张
Tonight,
情
Administrator
有
Gaynor
这
at
种
FEMA
情
will be
况的
speaking to
话，
all of the state
每个
emergency
医院
directors
都
in America to
把
talk
这
about
些
the availability of
预
resources,
警
but also encouraging them
汇
to
报
have
给
a
州政
plan
府。
to perhaps even use their National Guard
我们
to
也
move
鼓励他们
medical
有一个
equipment
计
from
划，并
storehouses
且用这
to
个
hospitals. We'll be working very closely with state
国
emergency
防卫队
managers on issues of
让他们
logistics. But today,
来
we're
帮助
fortunate to be joined by two members of
地
the
方政
cabinet
府。
who have been very
今
busy
天我
making
们
sure that
非
the
常
children
荣幸
of
有2
America
位内阁
have
成
the
员加
meals
入我
that they
们，
need while school has been suspended in so many places
他们帮
around the
助
country. Secretary
美
DeVos
国
and
的孩
Secretary
子
Perdue are
得
going to share some
到免费
exciting
午
news
餐。
and progress that we've made in feeding children who need nutrition assistance
等下
while
2位部长会
schools
给
are
我
closed. The
们
truth is
发
many
布
underprivileged
振奋人
kids
心的
would
消
not be
息。
getting school meals apart from the
虽然
fact
很
that
多
as we stand here today, our administration
学
has
校
approved
关
waivers
门
for，all
那
50
让那
states to give
些
them
需要
flexibilities to work with local
帮助
partners
的
to
家
give
庭
meals
的
to
孩
children
子
that are in need,
低收入
and
家庭
also
的
a
孩子就
nationwide waiver to allow
没
parents
有
to
了
pick up meals.
免费午
What's
餐，
most
我们
exciting today
把这
is
个
our
问
two
题解
cabinet
决，
secretaries
向他们提
will
供免费
reflect
午
we have
餐。
private sector partners, a few of whom
所
are
以
with us
有2
today,
位
who are helping
长
us speed important meals to children and to
加入
families
我们，
around the country. You'll
他
hear in a
们
few
帮
moments
助我们
from
把
the chairman of
这个
McLean Global
免费午餐
Logistics and also the CEO of
在
Panera
全国
Bread
分发
about the
给
work
孩
that
子
they are
们。
both doing to literally deliver
这
millions
个
of meals
Panera
to
Bread 的
American
这个
families. It's truly an
餐馆
inspiring
他
story,
们
and I look forward
提
to
供了
hearing it from them and
几
sharing
百
it
万
with
家
you.
庭
But it's just one more
食物。
example, as President Trump said, that we'll get through this,
现在
and we'll
就
get through this
是
together.
又一个
Not only a whole
例
federal
子，就
government
像总
approach,
统说，
working
我
with
们
all of our state partners, working with
要
healthcare
共同努
authorities
力
at the local
共度
level,
难关
but。also working with businesses
我
that have
们
been
也
willing to
跟
step up and stand at the
医
point of the
疗
need
方面的
and be
专
there
家
for，the most vulnerable
作
and help us meet the needs of our children and
还
of
有
our
其他
families.
领域的
And on behalf of the President and
人
grateful
们
nation,
合作
we thank you.
来
Madam Secretary?
来提供
Thank
给
you so much,
需要帮
Mr.
助的
Vice
人。
President. And I just
好。
want to begin by
谢谢
thanking
副总
President
统。
Trump for his clear-eyed leadership during these challenging times for our country and for our
需
world.
要帮助
And,
谢谢感
Vice
谢
President
总
Pence for
统
your tremendous
的
leadership of the task force and for truly
卓越
making a
领导
difference, making a difference that's certainly true for America's students and teachers as well.
感
Most of
谢
them, as Owen said a moment ago,
这届政
experiencing
府让他们
unprecedented disruptions in learning and in their lives. I want each
照
of them
顾
to
这
know
些
that President Trump and his
在这个
administration
大
are
疫情
taking
之下照
decisive
顾美
action
国民
to
众，
keep them safe and healthy so they
他
can
们
continue learning.
做了非
We
常
must rise to the
及
challenge
时
of
的
educating all children from all walks of life who all of
决定
a
他说
sudden
我们
are
必
in
须
many, many different learning environments. And they're counting
面
on
对
all
挑
of us to
战
find
来提
solutions.
供
I'm really
教育
pleased to be here
给
today for the
全国
announcement
的
of
学
another
生。
terrific solution
我
initiated
非
under
常
the
高兴
President's
能够
leadership.
在
Secretary
来
Perdue
到
is
这
going to share
里
details of this
来宣
public-private
布另一
partnership.
个
But before that, I'd like to
行动。
provide a
等
few
下
additional
财
comments
政部长
and
会
talk about the work that the Department of Education has been doing
提
on
供
behalf of
具体
students,
信息。
parents,
那
and
我
teachers
现在
during
先
this
作
national
为
emergency.
教育部
My team and I are in
来
contact daily with governors,
讲述一
state school
下
chiefs, college presidents, superintendents, and
这个
local education leaders. We
我
are
们
quickly
每
responding
天
to
都
their
跟
needs so they
各
can do
个
the
方
next
面的
right thing for
教
their
育机
students.
构保持
Most
联
governors
系，
have decided
所
to
以
close some or
他
all
们
schools in their
可以
states
让
for
这
a
个
period of time. As a result, students
他
may
们
not be able to
地方
take
政府可以
federally
做出正确的
mandated
决定。
standardized
大
tests
部分
this spring.
人
And
地
the
方
president
都已
took
经关
action
闭
to
了
make sure they didn't have to.
学校，
We made the process to
学生无
delay these
法
tests for a year, fast and painless.
无
As
法
of
就
today,
是完
47
成
states have requested the
这个
delay or the waiver, and
要求的
46
一
have
些
been approved within a 24-hour
考
period.
试。
We also released additional information
那
making
很多
clear
这
the
个
expectation
考
that
试延
education
缓
will
的这个申
continue
请都
for
已经
all
被批
students.
准了。
The transition to
我们
distance and
的
online learning
教
needs to
育
happen
会
quickly,
继
and
续
it needs to
提供
include meaningful instruction and
很多
supports for children with
网上
disabilities.
教学必
Learning
须
should
马
not
上
stop or be denied because schools fear
开始
federal regulators
提
or
供
fear doing something
特别是
different.
那些残
Distance
废的
learning is
学生
happening. States like New
对
Hampshire
他
and
们
Florida
要
have implemented phased and tiered
照顾到
approaches to meet the needs of students in their states.
在
Other schools and states are
佛罗里
implementing creative
达，
approaches
他们
and
也
working through
有一
practical
些
realities
好
to
的计
help
划，
students continue learning.
并
In
且
remote Colorado mountain
根
towns
据
without
具体
internet
情况来帮
connectivity,
助
teachers
学
are
生
putting
学
weekly
习。
learning packets together, and they're holding office hours by phone to help their students when they're stuck.
老
South
师
Carolina
每
is
周
deploying
都
3,000 buses with
把这
mobile
个
Wi-Fi hotspots to help kids in remote
学习
areas
内容准备
access
好。
learning that way. This national
特别是
emergency
在那
gives
个
all of
疫
us
情
an
严重的
opportunity
地
to
方
come together to
让
educate
学生能
all
够远程
students
学习。
out of principle. It's simply not
所
an
以
acceptable
我们
option to educate none of
大
them
家协
out of
同
fear.
努力来
So
提
we
供
stand
教
ready to
育，
assist educators and their students. We're
所以我们
compiling
在
all the
这
tools we
里
have
要
produced
帮
along
助
with the
那
great
些教育
resources
工作
that
者
states
和
are
学
offering
生。
to help keep learning going. There are already many existing online learning platforms,
我们
and many states were
要帮
already
助
offering a robust menu of
所有的学
courses
生
virtually.
现在已经
We will
有
be adding that information to our website
网
on
上的
an
教学，
ongoing basis, and that site is
我们会
ed.gov
在我们的网站
/coronavirus.
上增加
We're
内
using every
容。
tool possible to extend flexibility to states and communities.
我们
This includes
使用
funding
每
flexibility. Where we don't have the latitude, we're working with Congress on solutions.
我们
One
会使
area
用
is
多种
providing
工
direct
具
financial
来帮助
support to
学生。
students, families, and teachers. We will propose Congress provide
其中一方面
micro-grants
就
to help
是
students
给
continue to learn.
提供
These would be
经济
focused
援
toward the
助
most disadvantaged
和
students in our states or
贷
communities
款
where
来
their
帮
school
助学
system
生
has
继
simply
续学
shut
习
down.。I've
这
always
些是
believed
给
education
那
funding should be tied to
低
students,
收入
not
的学
systems,
生
and
受
that
到疫
necessity
情
has
影
never been
响，
more evident. We'll also support microgrants to
并
teachers to
且
help
他
them
们的需
pivot to
求
supporting
比
all
往
of their
日
students
更
in a
要
different environment than they've been used to.
严
We
重。
know they are dealing with an unprecedented situation.
他们
But
现
it's
在
been truly
面临一个不
inspiring
同的
to
环
hear
境，
story after
是
story
前所
of
未有
teachers
的。
rising to the
但是
occasion
我
and
们
meeting
听
the
到了很
unique
多
needs
振
of
奋
each
人
of their
心的
students.
消息。
Ultimately, we
很
know
多
everyone's grappling with the challenge of keeping students safe and healthy
老
while
师
also building
都
capacity
能
for
够
remote learning. It's an important
面
moment
对
to
挑战。
realize that learning can and does
这
很
是
happen
很重
anywhere
要的
and
时
everywhere.
候，
I think of the Texas
我
dad who
们
started a daily
意识
webinar
到这个
interviewing
学习
friends
可
and
以在
acquaintances
任何
in
地方、
wildly
任何
different
形式
careers
进
and
行，
helping students understand what it takes to work in that chosen career.
让他们
Or the history teacher in
知
Virginia
道
who connects with his students through a live stream every
让
morning.
孩子能够
I
选
think of the
选
art
择不
teacher in
同
Tennessee
的
who's broadcasting her lessons over social media. Or of Second
这
Lady
个
Karen
将来的
Pence,
这个职
who
业的
prepares
方向。
packages of art materials and projects for her students to pick up with their
这我
school
们这
lunches.
个副
Or
总
the
统
principal in
的
Alabama, who's going online
副
daily,
总统的
giving
夫
morning
人也参
announcements,
与
leading the
进
Pledge of
来，
Allegiance, and a moment of silence. And I think of the many
然
schools
后
that have
还有
distributed
人
laptops and
在
tablets to students
领
who
导这
don't have
个
them so they can
早晨
continue
的
learning over
对
video
国旗的
conference.
宣誓
And the
仪
ones
式，
that just don't have that option currently, like the remote Colorado towns.
有一
Joy
些人
Hoffmeister, the
没
school chief in
有
Oklahoma,
这个
may
条
have
件
put this
的，
best.
像科罗拉
She
多
told
的那
me,
些很
"School
偏
isn't
远
a
的地
building.
区，
It's students, teachers, and families working together to advance
然后
learning."
他们是
She's right.
有人的反
and
馈
that's our
就
shared
是
mission.
说，
Let me also touch
学
very
校不
briefly
光
on
是
how
一
we're
个建
supporting
筑，
students
它就
pursuing
是
higher education.
学生和老师
At the
共
beginning of
同
this outbreak, we immediately gave
努力来学习知
institutions
识
of。higher education regulatory flexibility so learning could go
我们
online.
给
And
高
it
等
did.
教
In
育
many cases, it was a
学
seamless
府
transition and learning
这
continues.
种
And we're continuing to cut federal bureaucracy and let schools rise to meet
弹
this
性，让
challenge.
他们能够在网
We've
上
vastly
授
improved
课。
distance learning policies,
多
which are
人都
working quickly to enact we're working quickly to enact for
可以
traditional higher education. Shorter-term
调
programs
整
and
尽
apprenticeships
快调
also
整来
need
适
to
应
grow
这个
and
新情
thrive.
况。
And as the president has so effectively championed, workers need these options as they look to come back stronger than ever from these momentary setbacks. The president
就
promised to
像总
defeat
统
this
说的，我们
invisible enemy and keep
全
our
民必
economy
须
strong.
要
He took immediate
战胜
action
这
and
个
provided
看不
student
见
loan
的
relief to tens of
病
millions
毒
of borrowers.
敌人。
We set all federally
他
held
给
student
了
loans to
学生贷
0%
款
interest rates and
的
deferred
利
payments for 60
息暂
days.
停，
Now with the CARES Act that
并
he
且
signed just earlier
有
today,
60
Mr.
天
President,
的
those actions will extend to 6 months.
延缓，不需要付，
We
不需要
hope
还
these
学生贷
actions
款
and。others we've taken for those who become
我们希望
delinquent
这
on
些
payments or
行
have
动
had other issues with their student loan payments will
对
help
那些
alleviate the
有
financial
困难的
burden
人
and anxiety
提
students
供了
and their
一
families
些
are feeling during these tough times.
经济上减
These
缓
are
他们的
tough
压力。
times, but we the people are tougher. So
这
in
是我
closing,
们
let me
的
offer
艰难
just
时
a few
刻
words of encouragement.
我
To our students,
我们是非
your
常坚
educations
强，能够
can
战胜
and
这些
should
困难的。
continue. Learning can happen anywhere,
你
and
们
we
的
will help make sure it does.
教育应该
We
继
believe
续
in you.，
我们可以在
To our
任何地方
teachers,
学习
we will。
我
support you
们
and help you.
相信你们能
You are
够
doing
战胜这一
great
切
work.。
作为
Keep it up.
作为老师，我们会
And to
全力
every
支持
parent
你
and
们，
family,
你们会做
we know these
非
are
常
challenging
棒、出
times.
色的工作。
But it's in the face of great challenges
对
that
于家庭
Americans
来
have
说，我们知
always
道这是
risen to
非
the
常
occasion
富
and
挑战的
embraced
时
greatness.
刻。我知
And I
道
know we'll
美
do
国
that
人
once
一直
again.
能够面
I thank
对
again
挑
the
战，战
President
胜
and the Vice
这一
President
切
for。their leadership
我
on behalf of America's
再次感
students
谢
and on
总
behalf
统、
of
副
all of
总
us.
统对他
And
们
now I'll
卓
turn to my
绝的
friend
领
Secretary
导。
Sonny Perdue to share more on how
现
we're
在
working together
我们
to help support student nutrition.
让 Senator Perdue 来
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice
谈
President.
有关
While
学生的
dedicated
营养问题。
educators are out there trying to continue to fill our kids
Viola,
with knowledge,
you have a
even when they're not in a school site, USDA is working very hard to continue to fill their tummies. You may know that many of these children
Viola,
receive
你在吗？
breakfast and lunch
说。
at their school sites.
在
And, our federal government participates with our dedicated school
USDA
nutritional and lunch
在免
professionals
费给学生
throughout the
提供
country,
午
and we
餐
have。issued waiver after waiver to make this flexibilities available for
在
things
大
that
家
make
小
sense
朋友都
when
不能
children
都
cannot
在一个地
congregate
方的
in
时
a
候，
singular location. That's one of the first waivers we did, we issued.
我
And when
们
Congress gave
一
us
直
the
在
authority to issue
发
more, we are turning those waivers around in
希望在24小
rapid
时之内
speed,
发到。
really less than 24 hours. So we're very fortunate that we've got a
我
great
们
team
24 小
at
时
our
不
Food
断
and
的工
Nutrition
作，
Consumer Services
要保
team
证
working
小朋友们有
24/7
饭
to make
吃。
sure that our kids continue to be fed. It's a great partnership that's happening out there. I want to mention one other simple but
还有
very
另外一
important
件
point
事情，大家
about another matter that
很
your
关
listeners
心
and
的，
readers may
我
be
们
very
也
interested
在
in. That's
关
the
心
food
这
supply
个
chain.
呃
USDA obviously is integrally
大
involved,
家的
integrally involved
食
in the
物
food supply chain.
还有很
We've
多
worked
的
with
工
all those
厂
producers, even the ones who
还有
provide
农
equipment
民
and materials for our
要
farmers
保证
and
他们有
cattlemen
他们
and
需要
producers
的
out there to
设
make
备
sure they
等
have
等。
what they need. They're part of the
好，
critical
新闻
and
是
essential
他们都
workforce
还
there
在工
to
作。
continue. And the good news is
种
those
地
folks
的
are staying
人，
on the job.
处
Those
理
who've
粮
grown
食
it,
的人
those who are
都在
processing
工
it,
作。
our inspectors who are grading it just the same way
还
they
有
always had.
装
Those
装
folks who are
备
delivering
粮
it,
食的人
packing it, delivering it,
都在照顾这
stocking
些
those
我
shelves
们的
and
消
checking out
费
those
者。
customers. That's the great news about our food supply chain. And it's a great
VP
American
和
story.
总总
Mr.
统的
Vice
领
President,
导，
under your leadership, the President's leadership, this
地
is that
方
whole
政府
American
还有
approach.
联邦
Federal
政府
government
还
can't
有
do it all.
公
We got
司
great partners out there in the food supply chain as
还
well
有
as
学校
our food
的
nutrition
厂
services and our
都
partners in
在
our school
一直继
nutrition
续
services doing
给
a great job
学
to
生发
continue to get these
午
meals to
饭。
kids there. Two of our private sector partners are here
这
with us
些
today. I'd
很
like for them to
都
tell
是
their
很好
story
的一些
because
故事。
it's a great story. Denton McLean with McLean Global here has partnered with
像
Baylor
可
a
乐，
collaborative on
还
poverty and
有
hunger
一些别
along
的
with PepsiCo
公司
in，order to pack a
还
million
有
meals a week
发
to deliver
发
to
食
rural
物发
kids who might not
给
can get to
住得很
town
远的
to
小
these
朋友。
drop-off sites where the other kids are picking up meals. And again, Niren McChartry
还有面包公司
Niren Chaudhry of Panera Bread,
在
CEO of
Ohio
Panera Bread. Their company is also participating in Columbus, Ohio, with the Children Hunger Alliance there to deliver food meals
在
that
发
meet the
发符合
regulations of
标准
USDA
的
under
食
flexible
物。
conditions there to get food meals there. And Panera's looking to expand that to
谢谢。
nationwide as well. So, Darren, why don't you come and tell us your story? Thank you very much.
谢谢，谢谢总统还有
Thank you.
副总统，谢谢
Mr. President,
DeVos 还有
Mr. Vice President,
Secretary
Secretary Perdue, and Secretary
很
Voss.
多人都关心
Right
大
now,
城
there's a
市
lot，of focus on our
但
large
是
cities
想象
and
一
the
下，
enormous challenges that they
你住
face. But imagine this.
很远的地
You
方，
live in
像
Iberia
路易
Parish,
斯安那还有
Louisiana,
阿拉斯
or
加
you，live in the Nome Borough in Alaska. Your schools are closed,
父
and
母都在
normally
家
your
里，
children get 2 meals a day
但
at
是都
school.
没有
Both parents are working from home, but mom and
都
dad
没
just
有
can't get to work,
没办法去
get to
拿
town
学校的午
where
饭。
meals are being offered for pickup.
这个
That's about to
USDA
change and change for the better. Because of this
我
USDA
们
program,
组织
McLean Global will source,
很
secure, receive, organize,
贴纸，然
assemble,
后直接
package,
送到
label,
小
and
朋友
then
的
deliver
家里。
boxes straight to a child's home.
我们
And here's
我
another
们
big
送
difference.
的食
For
物
the
都
first
可
time, we'll be
以
able to offer shelf-stable meals
都
that
可以
will
放
last
2个
2
礼
weeks.
拜。
That's a true game changer for rural
我们
families.
一定会
It's
尽力
happening because of
去
the president's
做。
order to do whatever it takes to
我
get the
们
job done.
我们都知道这个
Everyone
很
knows
多
that tons of
的
paperwork can be like
纸
lighter
件
fluid for a great
文
idea.
件需要
And
做。
this is a great idea. We field tested it in 2019 and it worked. You've heard
我
today
们还有
about the
很多合
administration's
作
work on this
的，
project. Here are some other
像
important
贝勒
partners in
大
this effort.
学，
We have Baylor University. They will
还
provide
有
sponsorship and
UPS，
oversight.
还有
In addition, we're deeply
邮
appreciative
局，
to
还有
UPS
可乐
and the
公
United
司，
States Postal Service. And we are joined by
因为这
PepsiCo
个合
Company
作，
to help get this accomplished. Because
我
of
可
this
以跟你们
collaboration
讲
and our，
所
tireless
有的饭
employees,
盒都
I can
可以
report
发
to you
出
the
去，
boxes are ready to ship.
他们
And
都需要
after
这个午
all,
饭，
this is all about the children
我们
who must be fed
做
during
准
this
备好了。
crisis.
感谢总统和副总统，
Thank you, Mr.
他们很
President
关
and Mr.
心
Vice President,
住在农
for
村的小
caring
朋
about
友
the。specific needs for the children who live in rural America. Thank you.
我们欢迎 Panera Bread CEO，
Welcome, Niren Chaudhry,
晚上好。
CEO of Panera Bread.
感谢总统、副总统，
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. President and Mr.
很
Vice
荣幸
President, for your leadership.
很感谢，
It's an honor to be here, and I'm deeply grateful
这
for
个
the opportunity.
很
This is
超
an
长的时候
extraordinary time, and I passionately believe that at such times we must all
要
come
做
together
到自己
and
最
do
好
our
的。
very, very best
我们
to
Panera
contribute
面
and
包
make
公
a
司，
difference.
我们
At
要保
Panera,
证
our
好
mission is
的
simple.
食
It
物
is about
送到
ensuring
每一个人，
that good food
特别
is
是
accessible
最
to
最
everyone,
弱的，比方小
especially
朋友，
those who are the most vulnerable, such as
我
children,
们
and
的
especially at
决
a time
心
like。this, and we are absolutely determined
今天
to make a
我们
difference in this regard.
和 USDA
Today
还
we are
有
announcing a partnership
一个
with
NGO，
USDA and
我
Children's
们
Hunger
会
Alliance
送新
to
鲜的
serve
食
freshly
物，
prepared, wholesome
从
meals
Ohio 开
to
始，
children in the
然
entire
后
state of
开
Ohio
到
to begin with,
别的
and
州。
hopefully after that to expand that program across many
我
other
相
states
信
in the country. I
这
do
个
believe
生活
that the human experience,
都是关于
indeed life, is all about
在
having
困难
resilience
中
in the face of
继
adversity
续
and also having the tenacity to just
在
keep
Panera
going, to just keep going.
我们
And at
的
Panera,
合
our
作每天
associates
都在
and our franchise
这样子
partners
继续。
live that spirit every single day. They are resilient and they are
我们
tenacious. And on
我
their
们
behalf,
会一直
I
为
pledge
这个国家
that we are committed to do
帮
the right thing
帮
for the
最需要
country
帮助的
and help
人，
serve those
我们
who
都
need it the
准
most
备好。
at this very important time. We are ready to serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
很感谢你们的
Thank you so
面
much.
包
Thank
公
you for
司
your，business's incredible
非常
generosity.
的
And I'll actually allow
大
the two
方。
business leaders to step out if you'd like. We appreciate you so very much on behalf of the
我们
president and a
提
grateful
问之
nation.
前，再
Before
请
we go
两
to
位
questions,
医
I'm going
生
to invite
再
Dr.
讲
Burks,
讲
Dr.
这
Fauci
个
to
数
step forward
据
with a。few reflections on what we're seeing in the data. And as you all are
我们
aware,
接下来
over the
会
next
看
several
很
days,
多
our
的建
team will be
议，
assembling recommendations
再
for the
再看
president
怎么继
to
续建
give
议
further guidance
这
to
个
the
国
American
家。
people, to states around the country.
我们
And
一
they
直
can both
在
share with you
努
the
力，
importance of ongoing efforts of
还
mitigation
有
by
州
every
政
American.
政
The
方
need
地
to
方政
support
府
what state and local leaders guidance is to every American community, but also
Dr. Bergs
as
一
Dr.
直在
Burks
分
continues to
析
work carefully with the modeling, analyzing the data, she'll reflect on the progress we've been made in that. Deborah?
你
Thank you, Mr.
再
Vice
讲一下你们
President.
之前
Just
的
to
问
pick
题
up on some of the
我们
questions
的
that you
问
had
题
earlier. So
是
the issues that we discussed with the
要
modeling yesterday was to ensure that the models were adjusted
要
for the
确
great
认
work
这
that every
个
citizen is making
我
in
们
doing
每
the
个人
mitigation
这
efforts.
15
And
天
to
都
see if
待
that
在
was
家里，
reflected in the
减轻了很
requests
多，
specifically for
所以
ventilators.
我
And
们
so
要
we wanted
再
to make
算
sure
这个
that with a
需
limited
要
number
多
of
少呼
ventilators
吸
and the
机。
issues that we saw in Detroit and Dearborn, in Cook County, and
我
now
们
in
重
New
新
Orleans,
算
that we
需
were
要多少
balancing
呼
and
吸机，
projecting
像
correctly based on both
一些
what the models had
州
predicted and then whether they were
还有纽约
adjusted
市，
for the incredible
我们这个礼
mitigation
拜
work
还有下个礼
ongoing
拜
in New York City. We understand that this week
都
and next week
都
will
会
not
有这
reflect
个
that
改变。
mitigation, whether it's New Orleans or
还有
whether it's New York
医
or the New
院
York metro area. We know that the hospital admissions that we are seeing this week and next week will be
要接收
infections
很
that
多
occurred
病人，
before the mitigation
但是我们
started.
还是
And
要
we
继
wanted to
续
make sure going forward
继
that the
续看
needs
我们的
reflected
数
that.
据，
That was
还
what
要
was
关
adjusted
注
in the
英
Ferguson
国。
model for the UK, and I know you're following that very carefully. They believe strongly that the mitigation
他
methods that
我
were put into
们
place that informed
我们
our
关注了
mitigation
他们
methods,
的
we all
数
were
据
working off of that same model. And I want to
很
make
有
it clear
帮
that
助，
those models, those flu models, have been incredibly
可以
helpful
看到不
to
一
really
样
predict
的
what would
政
layering of
策
these
有
different
什么不一样
mitigation
的
efforts
结
from
果，
social distancing to staying home if you're sick,
有的隔
staying in
离了
that
很多
household, that
人，
had quarantined everybody in
有
the
些国
household
家
if
做
anyone
的
is
不
positive.
不太一
Now,
样，
there are other countries that took different approaches, and
比
I want to
方
be clear because we did hear
韩
from
国，
both China and South
但是我
Korea.
们
But
也
it's always
会
important that you
用他
adopt
们
and
政策，
adapt
但是还要
and
改一
adapt
改，
it to your community and the reality of your
不是
country.
直
We
接
do
拿
this
过
around
来
the
就
world. You
可
can't
以
ever just
用
take an off-the-shelf
你要理
approach
解你
and then
的
put it into
地
action in your
方。
community. You have to understand your communities. And so, although
他们
both
中国
China
还
and
有
South Korea
韩国
removed
都
people who
直
were
接把
positive from their
病
households
人
and segregated
从
them
家
away
里
from their
拖出
families,
来
we
放到
did
别的
not
地
think
方。
that our
我们美国
Americans would
不会
adopt
这样
and
子，
adapt to that situation.
我
And so that's
们
why in our
所以我们
guidelines we
推
ask people
荐
if there
大
is a
家
family
待
member
在家
to
里，
try to self-isolate in the household, and so that that person is still there in the
说我
household. So I
们
just wanted
听
to be
说
clear
了
that
中国、
yes,
美
we all
韩
heard
国做
about
了什么，
what China and South
但
Korea
是我
did.
们不会
As much as we could, we adapted them
搬
to
到
the
美
American
国，
situation,
还有
as
英
the
国，
UK has done also.
要保
And we just
证
wanted to be really ensure that all of the
要保
requests
证
for the stockpile reflected
美国
the
人
great work that the American citizens were doing in each
还
of
有一
these
个问
areas to
题，
ensure health.
还
And
有
then
人说
finally,
要
you
隔
know, there was
离
a。question about requiring quarantine. I want to make sure that
像
everyone
纽约人
understood
到
when we
别的
talked
地
about
方，
New York residents who
他
had
们
gone
应
to
该
other
自
places.
己
It was for them to
隔离。
voluntarily
我们
self-isolate
很
and take care
想
of themselves because
警
we felt
告
like they could be exposed, and we really wanted to alert them
纽约还在
that the
更
rates in
多
New
更
York
多的
City
病
were
人，
high and were increasing, and that they were probably
还有
exposed
人
during
可
some of
能
the
在
most
发病之
exposed
前走。
time period before the
我
mitigation
们
efforts went in. So this was really
我
about the
们
health of
很
our
我
New
们
York
希望他们
citizens
保护
that
他们
then
自
chose
己，
to
还
come
有
to
他
other
们的
places both to
家
protect
人。
themselves and to protect others. So hopefully that's clear
我
to
们每
everyone
天都在
about
看
those
数
issues.
据，
We continue to look at the data every day. We really want to
会帮我
applaud
们
the
很多。
laboratory testing that is helping us. It will help us very much when we can get
我
full
们的社
surveillance
区里面
of
监
in many of
视
our
这
communities
些
and surveillance
数
around
据，
those
像
most vulnerable,
老年人
particularly
的
in nursing homes
退
and
休
long-term care facilities, so that we can more rapidly
退休
test
中心。
both the workers and the
嗯，
occupants
谢
in those
谢。
communities. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr.
几
Vice
个钟
President.
头之前，
Today, just a few hours
我
ago, I had
和
the
在
opportunity to get on a telephone
在 ICU 医院里面的
with
人
people who
打
are
了
on the front
电
lines, the
话，
people who are actually in the ICUs or in the
包括纽
hospitals,
约
all
市。
of the areas that are being
我
hardly
不
hit,
是一
including
个，
New York. And
我
I'm
是一
not
个
a
医
supply
生，我不
person. I'm a
是
physician, a scientist, and I
做
do
生意的。
vaccines and I do drugs, but I am a member of the task force, and I do take very seriously the
但是我要
responsibility
保
that we
证每
have
一个人
to those
有他们
individuals
需
to
要
get
的
them
材
the
料，
material that they need.
像面罩
We've
啊
had
等等
discussions about this, ventilators,
他们真的
personal
做得
protective
很好。
equipment, masks and things like that. They are doing an amazing job up there. And I just
我
want to
作
have
为
a message
团
to
队
them,
的
which I told
一
them over the
一
phone,
一一
that
位，
as a member of the task force with my
我们一
colleagues
定
here,
要让
we're
他
gonna do
们拿
everything
到
we
所有
can
需
to
要
make sure that they
需
get
要的
everything
装
they
备。
need at the time that they need that, because they are doing an
我
amazing
们
job
可以
up there,
接
and I
几个
salute
问
them.
题，John。
We'll take a few questions.
Just a quick one to Dr. Burks.
我们问了
I
8-9 天
asked
之
you
前的
just
这
about
个
8 or
数
9
据
days，ago about the data from all these tests, and you had suggested that there would soon be a website where we would
今
see
天
all
还
the
有数
data.
据吗？
Are we closer to that? When do you expect that? Do you have any data to give us tonight? 'Cause as far as
我
I
现
can tell,
在
this has not been publicly released yet.
Yeah, no, thank you. I've learned as Tony has
这个社
described,
区
we've
更
learned
教育
that
得
when
更
the
好，我
community
们
is
会做得
educated,
更好。
we all
我
do
们
better
觉得
together.
把
And
这些
so
信息
it's
放出
important
去
to
很
get that
重要。
information out when we start talking about where the virus is, what the percent positives are, and really
这
inform
样子大家
communities so that they can make decisions, so that people can take
家人，
protective measures for themselves and for their families. And I
但
find
是也很
that
重
it's
要
important, yes, for
对
us to have the data, but it's
政
equally
府
important for the
地
state
方
and
政
local
府。
governments as well as the communities. We are
我们
still, because we worked very hard to get it into the first bill, but it was changed to state and local
我们
labs.
现在
And
95%
obviously
的
95%
测
of
试
all the
都是
tests
在
are
私
being done
人
in the
的
commercial
实验
labs.
室。
So in this recent bill that was just
我们需要
approved,
这些
it
实验
is
室报告
mandated
给我们，
that all
所
commercial
以等
labs
我
need
们
to
收
report.
到之后，你们
And
也
so
会看
you'll
到。
have that data when we get the data comprehensively from all the commercial labs.
今天刚通过
But
的
it was
法，
passed today, so hopefully we'll expect it tomorrow.
Guys, only one more question.
问题
Dr. Fauci, about the
我们
guidelines
的
like Dr. Burks,
测
Dr. Fauci,
试
remember, what, I
标
guess, what is
准
the
是什么？
testing standard here? Are you going to need to test people who
我
are
们
well or only people who are symptomatic? Obviously, let's say in an Omaha, 10 people walk into a hospital, 5 come in, they're all tested positive, 5 go home, they may still be positive.
我觉得
What is your standard in order
这
to
个
make
测
these
试最重要
recommendations?
的
I'm
是，
glad you asked because the
它
important
只是
thing
测
about
试，
testing, it only tells you if
只
you're
是当
positive or
天，可能
negative
明
that
天
day.
你就又变
You
了，
could become positive the next day.
所
And
以
so
应该要
testing should be
有
used
意
intentionally
识
as
的
a
用。
surveillance tool or a diagnostic tool. And I think what we're going to work on over the
是
weekend
一
is to
种
weave
监
together
控，
both a testing strategy for surveillance, which you
也
brought
是一
up in
个
that key
医
point,
学方面
while maintaining a
的。
strong testing for
我们希
diagnosis,
望
because our first
发现
obligation
病
is
人，
still to ensure that patients get diagnosed. both so that the personal protective equipment
还有要
for those who are
给病人
negative doesn't have to be utilized,
照
but
顾。
also to give those patients the opportunity to have
我
optimal
们学
care.
到了
And I think Dr.
几
Fauci
个
mentioned
几个
this
月
a
之
few minutes
前，
ago. The things we have learned over the
还有
last
是
just
怎
few
么给他
months
们
was a lot of
呼吸
information
机。
about how best to ventilate patients. I think that
每一
that
个
has
医
been
生都在
shared
交流。
across communities and across
我们从来
clinicians
没有
and
经历
around the
过
globe. We never
这么多
previously had an experience where a lot of people had to be ventilated prone.
这种
This
信
kind
息
of
的交
information
流
that has been shared has been
非常。
critical to improve the survival of the
我
patients
们
that
给
we
这
have in the
个
United States of
医
America.
生
And
这
we
些
really
医
want
生
to
鼓掌。
applaud the countries who've been giving all of us that information and sharing it across the clinical network.
One quickly to Dr. Fauci.
嗯
Dr. Fauci,
礼拜天就是一个月之前第一个死的病人。
new disease. I wanted to ask you a bit of a
经历过
philosophical
那么
question.
多的
25 years.
病
You've been through HIV, AIDS,
发
MERS, SARS, West Nile virus,
这些
Ebola, all of that.
有什么
How
改
has
变
this
吗
nation
？Dr.
changed
Fauci，
since that first
这
death
个
1 month
是
ago?
从来没有
This is
经历
truly
过
an
的。
unprecedented
你说的很
situation
对，
that we're
我
going
经
through.
历
As you
很多
mentioned
别的
correctly, John, I have been
病，
through
作为一
everything
个
from
医
the very
生，
beginning of the very uncertain days
把他们
with
家
HIV AIDS.
里
Cumulatively, if you look
三
at
十
what's
几
happened
年
with HIV AIDS over the 37 and a half, 38 years
那
that
么
we've had it,
多人都
the
死，
burden and
但
the
是
suffering and the death has been
但是
enormous,
很久，
historic. But
我
it
们现
came
在
over a
看到
period
的
of time. There was the fight at the
真实
beginning.
时间
What
内
we're seeing now
是从
in
来没有
actual
见
real
到过
time
的，
is something that's unprecedented.
至
This
少
is
我这一
something
代人
that we have never seen before, at least in our
可能100
generation.
年前有差
They've
不
seen
多的。
something maybe like this back 100 years
我们
ago.
在真
And
实
we're
时
really
间
being
里面
challenged
学，
to not only
然后
learn in real time,
恢
to
复
be
这
able to
个
respond in a way that
在
is
也是
helpful
在一
and
个比
effective,
较不
but
明
we're also in
的
uncharted waters.
地
And I think
方，
that's the thing that I find different, is that
我们
the
也没有
waters
什
are
么
uncharted, so that it
例
isn't as
子，
if we have an example of how to do it. You know, we have an
全球都
extraordinary
是这样。
confrontation on the health and the welfare of the globe,
对
particularly, you
我
know,
来
for us here
讲，
in the United
这
States.
个还
So as somebody who's
还
been
是
through all
真
those
的
outbreaks,
没有
this truly is unprecedented. So from the first
没有
day to now
人
the first death, we've been through something that no one has ever experienced in our generation.
我说一下晚上好，
Let me say,
我们
let me
会
say
继
good
续
evening
给
to each
你
one of you.
们
I
发
trust
消
this
息。
was helpful. We'll continue to keep you informed.
嗯，
Over the course of the
总统
weekend, the
会
president will
到
be traveling to Norfolk for the embarkation of the U.S. Navy ship
我
Comfort.
们会
Our task force will be meeting through the course of the
然后
weekend, and
建
we'll
议
be reviewing the data and preparing
感谢
recommendations
大家。
for the American people going forward. But thank you all for your time and attention.
It was thorough.
Secretary Perdue?